Now let's cross over to Dr. Nancy Snow, who's in Kyoto, Japan. And Nancy is a professor of public diplomacy at Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. Great to have you on the show, Dr. Nancy. Now, you were actually at the G20 Trump summit yesterday. Looking back, did you expect that today's meeting between President Kim and Trump would be confirmed, even though it's only going to be for 15 minutes?
Well, I think that we've seen that this is how Trump operates, and it's very interesting when he said that he's never in a rush. He's also quite impulsive with his tweeting, and this came out of a tweet. And again, he is in the neighborhood. I mean, he might as well go forward with something. These are two people who really are seeking the spotlight, and I include Kim in this equation. We know that Trump likes the spotlight related to North Korea. He wants to really own this peace process. And it was Xi Jinping who was there recently in North Korea. And we were all wondering if maybe China would forge ahead a little bit more to try to put more emphasis on the peace process. But if you recall, Trump was nominated by Shinzo Abe, the chair of the G20 in Osaka, for the Nobel Peace Prize, allegedly, last year, related to the North Korea situation, seeking peace. And the lowest point was Hanoi, was that last meeting. And I really think that a lot of us thought that that was going to be it for a while. But Trump is in campaign mode. He is really gearing up to wrestle with all of these Democratic candidates who had two back-to-back debates this week. And he was even tweeting towards these candidates, including former Vice President Joe Biden. As for any substance to come out of that, very little. But as one who watched the G20, it was a show. It was a performance more than anything. And we're seeing this a lot more in international relations. The details are always harder to work out. Also, watch what John Bolton has to say, or Mike Pompeo. Is this just going to be orchestrated by Trump and his words, or are you going to have more of the hardliners like a Bolton call on North Korea to give up all of its weapons, which I don't see happening anytime soon.
And Dr. Nancy, speaking about the fact that they both like the spotlight and, the show, talk to us about the historic and diplomatic importance of the location where they'll be meeting the DMZ, and the fact that Trump would be, as I understand it, the first sitting U.S. president to cross over.
Indeed, he was expected to go to the DMZ in November 2017 when he was in East Asia and he came to Japan to meet with Abe. The weather did not permit his going there, but that was a very different era. The mood was quite different. North Korea had been hurling missiles across Japan and had been threatening the Alaska or to hit the continental United States, and a rocket man rhetoric. So 2017 is far behind us now. If Trump is going to the DMZ and really wants to make history, as he seems to be doing today, now is the time to do it. I noticed that you mentioned the G20 is really the Trump summit, and it clearly was. As I was watching it play out, it almost seemed as if the United States was the host of the G20 in Osaka. So Trump is really riding high. He was cajoling and seeming to enjoy himself. So it sounds like he wants to extend his trip to East Asia a little longer.
Now, Trump spoke earlier in Kyoto, and he said, we're not where we were 2.5 years ago. So, tell us what is at stake in this meeting, even though it is only 15 minutes.
It's the symbolism more than anything. It's very short. It is conditioning to reinforce again this chemistry. Remember, this is how Trump operates. He really goes by gut, his chemistry. This is all laid out in the art of the deal. And I think he was troubled at the deterioration of the way it was playing out in the media headlines, that he and Kim were at odds. And these two really do depend on each other. They need each other. I'm not talking here about the denuclearization. I'm talking about these personalities. And Trump has talked about even building up North Korea, that they have great beaches and that it would be just so ripe for capitalism. Again, that's such a long way away in the future. And that's why there is this division in public opinion, even generationally, in South Korea, because people have been prompted up with so much enthusiasm before, only to have their hopes dashed.
Okay.
So depending on how you feel about these actors, you're going to either believe in it or not.
All right. Dr. Nancy Snow, it's been a pleasure getting your insight. Thanks so much for speaking to us on TRT World.